Some of you may remember a video I did a little while back where a friend of mine unfortunately fell victim to an employment scam. Well, I got an employment scam too! And you picked the wrong water puddle to step in today. So, I've been in the voice acting scene for quite a while. You can find me in a few places looking for work. One place is a well-known site called CastingCallClub. It's a site where both amateur and professional productions look for voice talents, usually by posting a casting call and having actors audition for roles. One day, I got a DM from someone named Emily who said,
"Hello, I hope you're doing well. I came across your impressive voiceover profile."
Ah yes, my very impressive voiceover profile of no documented site credits and only a demo reel. Yeah, very impressive.
And wondered if you'd be open to exploring some exciting freelance opportunities. Let's connect to discuss more details. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you.
Now, immediately, this message is setting off my BS filters, not only for my aforementioned vacant profile, but also because of Emily's profile page. Supposedly, the account originated from somewhere in the United Kingdom. It had also just recently joined, the exact same month that they contacted me. I'm guessing that this is a pop-up account for a scam. The profile's description reads,
"Elevating industry standards by fostering meaningful connections and facilitating high-impact collaborations. I contribute to the elevation of industry standards, creating lasting value for both voice artists and the companies we serve."
Yeah, you couldn't sound any more like a ChatGPT response if you tried. At best, it's a whole lot of words talking about nothing. Also, who's we? At this point, the only thing left that could give this account some kind of legitimacy is their profile picture. Though, all it is a picture of a coffee and a book on a table. And it also looks like there's Japanese writing on both the book and the coffee. Also, hold on, what's this QR code on the cup? Ugh, curse my curiosity! So, I decided to give this code a scan and see where it led to. Also note, I do not recommend that you scan random QR codes that you find in the wild. That is extremely dangerous and could easily get your account information stolen. So, if you come across one, I recommend that you look up the URL of the code first before you navigate to it. After safely inspecting the code, I found out that it's a shortened Bitly URL. I plugged the URL into Bitly's URL inspector, and I found out that the real URL is for 7-Eleven of Japan, specifically a thing talking about the source and quality of their coffee. Well, that makes a heck of a lot of sense, since this thing was found on a cup of coffee. So at most, I've determined that this picture likely comes from Japan, since it has Japanese writing and a coffee from a Japanese 7-Eleven. Now remember that Emily is supposedly located in the UK. So what's Emily doing with a profile picture that clearly comes from Japan? I mean, maybe it's a memorable picture that they took while on a business trip? I still got one more trick up my sleeve for this image though, and that's good old reverse image search. We should be able to track down the source and figure out where it actually comes from. And after I reverse searched it, I indeed found the source, and it comes from the Twitter of Kairi Satake, a Japanese voice actor known for voicing in Gundam G, Soul Calibur, Apex Legends, and a bunch of other stuff. The picture was from a post where they were showing off a book they were reading while waiting for something. That certainly throws a wrench in things. This was a pretty recent picture that she took. I wouldn't put it past her to use it for a profile picture, especially one where she might be operating incognito. I don't know what these freelance opportunities are, but if this somehow turned out to be someone from a secret Japan-based scouting crew looking for fresh talent, and if they happened to come across my demo reel and liked something that I had in it, there is a very slim chance that it might be legit. So, cautiously, I proceeded forward with my interactions with Emily. I messaged, "Hello there, can I get more info about you and who you represent?" They responded with,
"Dear
voice actor,
"Never mind, it's a scam, 100%, no doubt, scammerino!"
We would like to invite you to connect with our company representative on Discord to further discuss the voiceover project details. Please feel free to reach out using the following Discord username, @yukai_21. We appreciate your time and look forward to the opportunity to collaborate. Best regards, Emily Gomez.
Okay, first of all, what's with that first little bit of text at the beginning that said,
Voiceover project collaboration.
did you forget to not copy-paste that along with your obvious form letter, as well as forgetting to put my actual frickin' name in the first line? Well, good to know that you not only have multiple scams that you're running, but also give absolutely not one single crap about addressing your victims by name. Second, they're trying to get me to get in contact with their representative on Discord. Why? I'm literally in DMs with a representative of your company right now. What's stopping you from just having the discussion here? It'd be more professional to do business on a site that revolves around said business, wouldn't it? Also, we could ensure that we went through all the proper checks and balances to ensure that we were doing business safely. But what do I know? I'm just a stupid voice acting guy on the internet. I know nothing about the business world. They clearly speak a different social language out there in business land. So, as you can probably tell, these guys really get under my skin. They're trying to trick people in the voice acting scene and make them think that they're getting a chance at nailing a role, potentially their first role. Finding your first big role could be the one thing that kickstarts your career, and some folks might be desperate enough that they'll miss all the warning signs and fall for their trap. That kind of manipulation saps any and all respect I could ever have for them. So you know what I did? I contacted Yukai NG21. No, not with my actual Discord account. Are you crazy? That'd be foolish and set me up for a lifetime of harassment from scammer scum. Don't ever willingly give scammers your real account info. Instead, I got a burner account for just such an occasion. I contacted them through that. So before I started chatting with this dude, I took a little time to check out their profile. Feels barren. The account was opened in June, which means it's pretty new, but not new enough that it shouldn't have been fleshed out a little more. And according to their description, he labels himself as an information officer. That profile picture catches my attention, specifically the text surrounding it. The bottom looks like it says Yukai's name, but then at the top, it looks like it says something like Trans Perfect? I took the name Trans Perfect and looked it up. Ah, I see. Trans Perfect is a translation and localization company. Pretty huge one, too. They got an absolute avalanche of noteworthy business partners. And hey, looky here. If you go to the leadership section of their site, there he is, Yukai, Chief Information Officer. Don't let this fool you, though. This is just like that last employment scam I covered. The scammers take on the role of a well-established company in the hopes of lowering your guard, gaining your trust, and getting you to start handing them info that you otherwise wouldn't. So, with all this knowledge in our hands, we begin chatting with the scammers.
Hello, I heard you have a voice job available?
You're welcome.
Genius!
What country are you from?
I'm from the US.
That's a pretty big pool of people, so not exactly identifiable info. I'm pretty comfy with handing that over. Next, he sends me a very dry copy-paste letter talking about their business and what they do, yada 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 yada. And then, they ask me a set of 4 questions. What equipment do I use? How many clients I manage? What do my customers appreciate from me? And how long I've been doing voice acting. I didn't give exact details here, but I did give info that would make me come across as someone with a passable amount of work coming in and a decent knowledge about what I'm doing. More empty sentiments about partnership and collaboration. And then he asks me what language I speak, which, no reason to lie about this, since I genuinely don't speak any other languages other than English, and I don't want to end up being caught in a lie. Finally, I'm handed details on what the job is. They're looking for someone to narrate a 100-page document on international law. The pay rate is $50 per page, so $5,000 in total for the job. I would be given 10 days to complete the task.
So, what kind of voice tone is this project looking for? Something formal? Casual? Other?
I know, obvious question, but I felt like tossing a softball question first.
Formal. Please confirm your preferred payment method. We offer the following options. Direct deposit to local bank account. Payment via a digital wallet.
What do you mean digital wallet? Like a cryptocurrency?
Yes, or PayPal, Wise, etc.
Okay, yeah, right. Because any legitimate business is gonna have the option to get paid in Ethereum, am I right? I chose to go with the direct deposit option. For the record, never hand over your bank account's routing and account numbers to anyone you don't trust. With that info, someone with malicious intent could do all manner of havoc. Steal your money, fake checks, claim your tax returns, all kinds of nasty stuff. Don't worry though, I had a fake routing and account number ready to go in case it got to that. At this point, the scammer handed me the contract. Twice. Boy, I'm dealing with a very computer literate person. After scanning the file to make sure that it wasn't filled with all kinds of viruses, I opened it up and holy mother of JPEG! The rest of the document seemed to be a pretty boilerplate employment contract. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. One might be able to scan through it and find something seedy, but I certainly can't. This goes past my area of expertise. That said, even though there's likely nothing of worth here, and even though this contract will likely not hold up in court if contested, there is no way that I'm actually signing any legal documents, even jokingly. I am not giving them any chances of having any authority over me. So instead, I opted for the pedantic questions route.
What format do you need the audio files to be?
MP3 format.
What's the minimum sample rate and bit rate you need?
Then the scammer copy-pastes a list of instructions.
This still doesn't answer my sample rate question.
There's no rate for the sample. Take note, I only showed you that.
Yes, there is. All audio files have a sample rate.
I don't see seriousness in you. Read carefully.
Then I copy-pasted a link to an article from isotope.com going over the details of what sample rates are.
This is an article that goes over sample rates. It's a common detail in audio recording. I'm making sure that I match up with what TransPerfect wants. It's in your best interest to make sure I send you the right quality.
Details have been given. That's what the company wants to follow. Given instructions, okay.
Okay, I'll simplify my question. Do you need the audio to be in 45 kilohertz, 50 kilohertz, 55 kilohertz, or 60 kilohertz?
Any of the above will be accepted.
No they won't, because any sound eggheads out here will tell you that none of those sample rates are standard. I made them all up! The only ones that are generally recognized are 44.1 kilohertz and 48 kilohertz. 44.1 is said to be about the limit of average human hearing. 48 kilohertz is for a little extra fidelity. You can go higher or lower, but those tend to be the most often used. It's definitely not 60 kilohertz, that's for sure!
Okay, now how about recording software? Do you have a program I'm required to use for recording?
Is this your first time working in audio project? Use your tools.
I literally told him earlier that I had 2 to 3 clients at a time. He knows I've worked in audio! You know, unless he didn't read anything I said. Since that would be wildly unprofessional of him, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and assume that this was a subtle insult, which, gotta say, great way to communicate with potential business partners.
No, but I have a few different softwares. I've worked with clients that only allow me to use specific programs.
You can use any program of your choice. Just make sure the work is smooth.
Can do. Now what kind of audio compressor should I be using?
Optical compressor.
Crap, I really wanted to get on another argument train with that one. He's technically right, and also technically wrong here. On one hand, an optical compressor is traditionally a physical analog compressor, meaning that it's not really something that you use with digital software. On the other hand, there do exist plugins that simulate analog compressors, so an optical compressor is totally within the realm of possibility. Though all of this falls apart the moment you realize that this is all useless and unnecessary. Any compression would work just fine. In fact, the voice actor really shouldn't be the ones compressing the lines anyways. He was pretty quick to answer with a complicated compressor option. Funny that.
Okay, I got a plugin for that. So, I know you're looking for a formal voice tone. Do you have any examples of the line delivery that you were looking for? Like an example clip of another voice actor?
Which is totally normal to ask. I've had plenty of voice jobs where they were looking for someone to mimic the style of another performance. You know, normal unless they're trying to replace an actor who's picketing for their worker rights. Don't be a scab, people.
Keep me posted once you're done. Focus on the given project. Thank you.
Wait, no, I wanted a voice example. Plus, I haven't signed any contracts yet. I'm not doing work until that happens.
Sadly, that was too firm of a push. I probably shouldn't have demanded it and instead made more of a kind request, because our scammer friend was fed up with me at this point.
Please don't sign. Kindly pass. I don't see any serious in you.
Again with the seriousness line. If anything, I'm the most serious person in this room right now.
Thank you for your time. The project will be given to another.
I gave one final plea to stay on as their voice actor, even went so far as to feed the law script through an AI text-to-speech program. But sadly, I never got another message from him again. A day later, I reported their accounts and went on my way. Now, some knowledgeable people out there might have seen all the things that I was asking this person and thought, all these questions are useless and unneeded. The standard practice is to assume that if it's not written down anywhere in the instructions, a voice actor is free to produce the lines however they want. You don't need the fine details like sample rates, compressor specs, voice mimic, etc. Well, I know that, and you know that, but it's also up to the employer to know that. At the end of the day, a voice director or employer needs to know what they need from their clients. I don't think any of my questions were unreasonable, and they should have been easy to answer with a simple 44.1 or basic software is fine. Like, he should be happy to answer any of the questions that I have for him because I'm showing interest in his production. Despite this, our supposed chief information officer seemed confused at every little question I threw at him. In fact, he seemed really irritated that I wasn't just following along with his requests and doing what I was told. This right here is a surefire way to determine if you're dealing with a scammer. Scammers like these tend to operate off of a script that they've been handed. They have very little knowledge outside of that script, and if you try to ask them any questions outside of it, it leads to them slowly becoming more frustrated, and eventually, the cracks start to form, and through those cracks, you get a better view of who you're really dealing with. Maybe all of this is obvious to some, but nobody's born with perfect knowledge about everything. If you don't know what to look for, I can absolutely see someone falling for this. And even if you do know about these kinds of scams, you could still fall for one if you're in a desperate enough situation. So for your own safety, do what you can to stay knowledgeable about these kinds of scams. Always enter new employment opportunities with caution. And question, question, question. This is BitB saying thanks for watching and stay safe.